The loud man leaned back in his seat, clearly enjoying the attention he was drawing. He crossed his arms and shook his head, as if the situation personally offended him. "You know," he said to no one in particular, "first class used to mean something. Executives. Leaders. People who actually earned their place." His voice carried through the cabin. A few passengers exchanged uneasy looks. One woman pretended to focus on the safety card, while another slowly put on her headphones, hoping to avoid the tension. Still, the casually dressed man remained calm. He turned a page in his book, unbothered, as if the words floating around him didn't exist. That calmness only irritated the loud man more. "What do you do?" the man suddenly asked, leaning forward with a mocking smile. "Let me guess, crypto trader? Motivational speaker? Or are you just lucky?" The quiet man looked up briefly and smiled politely. "I work on a few projects," he replied. The loud man laughed loudly. "Of course you do. Everyone works on projects these days." A flight attendant walked by and gently reminded him to lower his voice. He nodded, but the smug expression never left his face. As the plane leveled out, drinks were served. The loud man ordered an expensive drink, making sure to mention its price. Meanwhile, the quiet man simply asked for water. That small contrast said everything. Minutes passed. The cabin settled into a tense silence. But the loud man couldn't let it go. He leaned toward another passenger and whispered, just loud enough to be heard. Confidence like that usually comes before reality hits. The quiet man heard it, but chose peace over ego. What no one realized was that this calm wasn't weakness. It was certainty. Outside the window, clouds drifted endlessly, unaware that inside the plane, judgment was building toward a moment that would flip everything upside down. Because sometimes, the loudest person in the room knows the least. And sometimes, the quietest person carries a truth so powerful. It only takes one moment to change everything. As the plane took off, the loud man seemed determined to show off. He leaned toward the flight attendant and said, half laughing, "Can you believe I paid full price to sit next to someone who looks like he borrowed his clothes from a thrift store?" Some passengers shifted uncomfortably. Others pretended not to hear. Still, the calm man remained silent. That only made the loud man bolder. "You know," he continued, now speaking directly toward him. "First class is usually for successful people. CEOs. Innovators. Not, whoever you are." The quiet man slowly removed his headphones. He looked at the man calmly and replied with a soft smile. "I hope you're enjoying the flight." That response confused him. No anger. No embarrassment. No apology. Just calm. The loud man laughed. "Wow. Confidence without success. That's new." Little did he know, everyone else was about to learn the truth. About an hour into the flight, the captain's voice came over the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Before we continue, I'd like to give a special acknowledgement." The cabin grew quiet. "We are honored to have a guest traveling with us today, someone whose work has changed transportation, technology, and space exploration." Passengers looked around, confused. The captain continued. "Please join me in welcoming Mr. Elon Musk on board." Silence. Then gasps. Eyes widened. Heads turned. All attention snapped toward the calm man sitting just a few rows ahead. The same man who had been insulted. The same man who never raised his voice. The loud man's face went pale. His confident posture collapsed instantly. That's not possible," he whispered. But it was. Elon Musk calmly nodded to a few passengers and returned to his book. The cabin buzzed with whispers. The truth had finally come out. The man's shoulders sank as those words settled in. He looked down at his hands, suddenly aware of how small his behavior had made him appear. For the first time since boarding the flight, he wasn't trying to impress anyone. "I guess I let my success get to my head," he admitted quietly. "I thought confidence meant being louder than everyone else." Elon studied him for a moment, then nodded slightly. "Real confidence doesn't need an audience," he said. "It comes from knowing your purpose, not proving it." The cabin remained silent. Even the flight attendants paused nearby, sensing that something meaningful was unfolding. One passenger a few rows back slowly removed his headphones. Another leaned forward, listening closely. This wasn't entertainment anymore, it was a lesson happening in real time. The man took a deep breath. "I've spent years trying to look important," he said. "But I never stop to think about how I treat people who can't offer me anything in return." Elon offered a faint smile, not one of pride, but understanding. "We all make mistakes," he replied. "What matters is whether we learn from them." As the plane continued its journey, the energy inside first class changed. Conversations softened. Laughter became quieter. People spoke with more care, more awareness. The man sat back in his seat, no longer restless, no longer seeking attention. He stared out the window at the endless sky, reflecting on how quickly respect could be lost, and how rare humility truly was. When drinks were offered again, he declined. Instead, he thanked the flight attendant sincerely, something he hadn't done once before. As the flight prepared for landing, passengers gathered their belongings. Some glanced toward Elon with admiration. Others simply smiled, inspired by what they had witnessed. Before standing up, the man leaned forward one last time. "Thank you," he said. "Not for forgiving me, but for reminding me who I want to be." Elon nodded. "Just pass it on," he said quietly. And in that moment, somewhere between the clouds and the runway, a man who boarded the plane full of pride stepped off carrying something far more valuable. A lesson he would never forget. For the rest of the flight, the cabin felt different. Calmer. Quieter. More respectful. People who once judged by clothes or noise now looked inward. As the plane landed, Elon stood up, thanked the crew, and prepared to leave. Before walking away, he turned to the man one last time. "Success doesn't always look loud," he said. "And respect doesn't cost anything." Then he walked off the plane. The man remained seated, staring at the empty aisle. He didn't lose money that day. He didn't lose status. But he lost something more important, his pride. And everyone on that flight learned a powerful truth. Never judge a person by appearances. Because you never know who's sitting right beside you. If this video made you think, don't forget to like it, it really helps the channel. Subscribe for more powerful stories and comment below what you think about this topic. Your support keeps this journey going. This is Truth Beyond Limits. See you in the next one.